Minds up, minds up, minds up. I want to thank you all for tuning in right now to the Minds Up radio show. This segment is called The Enlightened One. And what this show does is we bring on people who are filled with the light, people who are powerful, people who are positive, people who are living on purpose in their passion and who are driven to help you be driven into your purpose and your passion. Now, today I have one of my favorite coaches in the world who has just been such an amazing person in my life. She has helped me with so many different things with trying to understand my own direction as to where I'm going and everything. And so it is only right that I share the love with you guys today. So I want to all give a warm welcome for Thuy Tran. Let me make sure I say that right. Am I saying how do you pronounce your name?
Twee, like Twee, like Tweety Bird.
Perfect, Thuy Tran. Now, Thuy Tran is a fierce business coach, and she's an intuitive healer who partners with her clients to help them get to the next level in building a cohesive business and their life. Her business acumen comes from advancing her own 12-year career from management. She was a trainee assistant and she went into this whole new world to be here today to actually help us all not be afraid to walk away from what was and walk into who you really, really are. Now, Twee, she actually takes a deeply approach to showing everyone, all of her clients, how to achieve success and satisfaction. Now, she believes that the key to growth is uncovering the hidden challenges and fears. Now, she is one of the very few practitioners who uses the instant miracle technique to dissolve resistance. I don't know if you guys are ready for that, but I am definitely ready for that, okay? And she brings positive energy forward to every single client that she interacts with. And I can vouch for that because she has definitely brought some positive energy my way. So I definitely want you all to give it up for another leader who's leading leaders. Light your horn. Thuy Tran.
Thank you. What a nice intro. I love
it. So let me just make sure that I mute our caller. Get some background noise going on here. And you can hear me perfectly fine, right?
Yeah, I can.
Hey, so I don't even know where to start with you. You just such an amazing beacon of light to experience, But the first thing I would have to ask, who is Thuy Tran? Now, I know I gave this beautiful introduction of you, but I'm pretty confident that you may have a whole nother side. So who is Thuy Tran?
Oh, gosh, I'm no one special. I'm just a girl from California who, started on this, had some major stuff happen in my life, and then started on the spiritual growth path and became this crazy, powerful healer. And now it's just my mission to help everyone else kind of step into their own light and, do what they love, because everyone should.
Yeah.
And make money doing it.
You know what, and I think that's one of the things, and I don't want to jump into too much yet because we're gonna go through that whole thing of what makes a business coach powerful and what makes them lose their power. But in any case, before we jump there, that's so important. And I think that a lot of coaches they fear that aspect of the monetary aspect of that, but we're gonna get into that later. Look at me, I'm please. I'm sorry.
Would you like me to coach you right now? I'm just kidding.
As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you could, like in 2 seconds, like Takia. Okay, ground.
Focus. Right here. Back with me. Just kidding.
Read the book. Get your life together. It's gonna be okay.
Oh, honey, your life is so together already. It's perfect where it's at.
Yes, it is. So, what are some of the things that you do? One thing I do know, not even just being a business coach, but just being a spiritually enlightened being. Um, there's things that we have to do every day to stay in a good place. The things that are taking place right now in the outside world. If you're not in alignment with where we are, it could be a little challenging, to try to hear what's going on the outside and still stay within your oneness. So what are some of the things tell me, what is a day like for Thuy Tran? What is a day like for you? Like, what are some of the things that you do in the morning when you first get up to kind of align yourself that you can share with us?
I like to meditate in the morning, so that's a huge practice. I am such a normal person. It's not even funny. I'm a mom, of 2 little kids. I wake up in the morning. Get my kids ready for school and all that stuff. I'm really normal. But the one thing that's really super important is self-care, right? So you really got to take care of yourself first. So even before I get out of bed, I meditate. And, people always say you've got to sit up and meditate. Well, sometimes I just literally consciously wake up and I still lay there and I meditate. You got to do it however you got to do it. I do that. I practice gratitude every morning. So I write down some gratitudes in my journal, and then I kind of just visualize how my day goes. And on the very practical side of me, I have a schedule. So there's clients that I meet and things like that, and, get my kids to school. So it's really, really normal. But, I think the biggest part about being spiritual is to really stay grounded.
Don't I know that? Oh my God. I mean, to you, you might feel like it's a pretty normal life. But for other people who are coming into this place of spirituality where we are, I don't think most people haven't really mastered that yet, as well as being able to maintain their business. So I applaud you. Definitely being able to manage just, trying to have not even trying, you're doing it, you're just like, just having a regular life. It is what it is. I got a coach. I got clients and let me do that. And so how does that make you feel like, after you do all of this wonderful stuff with the kids and you finally get home and then you have a client? Are you usually a little amped up and excited to build with them, or how does it make you feel?
Yeah, well, because I do what I love, it doesn't ever feel like work, and so when I'm in that space of coaching, it's actually really divine. It's just naturally flowing. So it feels amazing. Like, literally, when people say you do what you love and the money will follow, it's so true. You've got to really figure out who you are, what you want to do, and just do it. And there's going to be ups and downs and all that stuff, but that's normal, because if you didn't have the downs, you couldn't appreciate the ups.
Yes. So we all go through some challenges, and it was so funny that you just mentioned the ups and downs, but especially when we're coming into the awakening ourselves. What brought you to this place of knowing that you were something different and that you wanted to do something more powerful with your life?
Well, so I've got this thing around, should I go here? Kind of. Like, I've got this philosophy about life on a spectrum, right? And this is something that I recently just learned, right? So, I used to live in this place of being really super strategic and controlling every aspect of my life. It was in the title of my job. I was an assistant controller for like a major company.
Okay.
And I controlled everything and I forced everything to happen. And what ended up happening was me getting really sick. I was working really long hours. I made, a 6-figure income. I had the title and the car and that perfect little life that you plan when you're like in your 20s, right? Or, 18, like these certain achievements that you want. Well, 12 years later, I'm working so many hours. My children are young, and I completely got sick.
Wow.
so sick that I had to take a leave for 4 months, and what it was stress. I had no idea. I was so stressed out that the breaking point was actually me having a panic attack. And I literally was sitting on the toilet, like rocking, like on the movies, because of an accounting entry. Because I was assistant controller. I handled the books, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a few hundred thousands of dollars. Did I do it backwards? That could be a lot of money to my paycheck, a lot of money to my boss's paycheck. I was so freaked out, like I had this massive panic attack, only to realize that I've been having panic attacks, but I
The whole time.
never, the whole time, they just were never like movie style where I was like rocking, and shaking and like anxiety. And so that was from that point on, like I think I had vacation, and then I went out on leave for about 4 months, and just to realize that it actually took a physical toll on my body too. I was about 35, 36 at the time,
Right.
and half of my face was always like numb, and I thought that was a sign of getting old, I didn't realize it was stress because I had had it for so many years. And so that's how I started this whole spiritual journey. And so, here where I am at today, it's like, okay, so that's where I was on the spectrum of life. I was on this far end of push, push, push. Well, now I'm here on this end of allowing, and really teaching people how to allow things to happen, because God, source, universe, the creator, whatever you want to call that bigger thing out there, was not going to allow me to keep pushing my way through life anymore. So
Wow, that's an amazing story. That is really amazing. And especially just having the courage to say, I can't go back. You knew it was going to affect you.
well, well, I'm really stubborn, like most people, right? I did go back. I went back for 2.5 days, and my face got numb again. So that was when I knew that, okay, I'm done. Like I couldn't possibly do this anymore. And I prayed, and I was just kind of like, God, give me an out, and literally they consolidated my division.
Wow.
They gave me an opportunity for a different position or a severance package. So I took my severance package and ran.
That was the smartest thing you could have ever done.
Yeah, like I wanted out so bad, I didn't know how, and because I asked, which is part of what I teach people, is people think they have to make everything happen. Sometimes it's really helping, and asking for help. And it depends on it, and it really, when I say that, it's on a generality. It really depends on where you fall on the spectrum of life. If you're like a taker, then it's time to do something, but if you're a doer, then it's time to ask and allow. So
Wow, that's so true. And I recently experienced that about a week ago on my job. I mean, I was just like every day going there feeling like I had to vomit for like 5 days straight. I felt so sick, and I was like, God, I know I don't belong here anymore. But what do I do to get out? Because I had like this guilt inside. Just like, well, if you leave, this is not gonna get done, that's gonna get done. And it was just like, but if you don't leave, this is not gonna get done, and that's not gonna get done for you and what you're supposed to do. And then they called me into the office, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. They're like, you seem pretty happy. I was like, you don't even know. This is such a blessing. Thank you for telling me to hit the road.
yeah, right.
About to walk me into my new world.
We are so going there. You are so going to make this happen. I believe in you.
Yes, oh my God. So, tell us about your tribe, the type of people that you actually assist in business as far as entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So what's so cool is that my tribe, we work with people who were us, like people who are at us at some point, right? So for me, I've got this crazy, business background, MBA, tough corporate controller type person. So I work with a lot of women on that aspect of really coming into their spirituality, and I don't necessarily say that just yet, but it's really teaching them how to not force their way through life, because it'll only take them so far, and then on the other side, now that I'm here way crazy woo woo too, I really help as a healer. I help healers grow their healing businesses because I've got the business side. So I really kind of bridge all of it together, and keep it really grounded for both sides of the coin.
That's awesome. So what do you love most about what you do?
The transformation, of course, like celebrating the transformation with my clients, having them be able to make money and giving them a vision of what their business looks like. A lot of them just have this heart of gold. The healers have this heart of gold, and they want to go out there and they want to heal the world and spread their love. And a lot of them don't make money, so I teach them how. And when they do, that's amazing. And then the women that are really like have forced their way and are uber successful, but they suffer from a lot of anxiety or over responsibility for people and things like that, and their actual life is a little out of balance. I help them get centered in their life and balanced in their life. So it's amazing. It's amazing work.
Yes. So is there anything about it that kind of, I guess, brings you emotionally, like maybe like a down point? Like, is there any negative part? I don't know. I guess you would, because there's no really positive and negative. Everything just is. But I don't know. Is it just like the things you love? Is there anything about it that you don't really like?
Well, the actual mechanics of growing a business is, like I want to hire out to do all my stuff that, I just want to coach. I just want to get on the call and love people up. That's what I love the most. And, and as a normal person, I go through my own struggles, as I get more exposure or more levels of success, I go through my own issues of confidence and things like that. So it's not that I don't love it. It's just embracing all of it when I get there.
That's so true. Oh my God. That is so amazing. So let's see, like with spirituality and people who are running a business in spirituality, what suggestions do you have for business coaches who are trying like to align themselves, but we know that grounding is important, but is there anything that you can share that may help them understand the path? I guess would probably be the best.
I think that I share this, whether it's a coach or anyone, you have to be in alignment with yourself. You have to be in integrity, right? So if you're a business coach, you should have a coach. If you're asking your clients to do something, you should be doing it too. You've always got to be walking a step. You don't have to know it all, but you have to be a step or two, and you have to be congruent in alignment with what you say you're doing. Because if your clients are you, which they are, you in the past, and you're walking a step ahead, then you should really be doing those things.
That's awesome.
And if you're asking people to invest in you, you better be investing in yourself.
That's so true. That's so true. And I think a lot of people fall short in that. Um, how some people just kind of like look for handouts, and then what happens is when you are always looking for handouts, it's like nothing can really come into you because you're just looking to receive. You're not really looking to give. Talk to us about that and how that really affects people.
Yeah, so that's where, back to like this life on a spectrum, right? And you really got to, it's really about who you are. So some people just look for handouts, but other people like me just want to push through life, right? And it's really about asking for help. So any good coach is going to tell you, look at your patterns, right? What patterns do you fall under? If you fall under never asking for help because you're too prideful, then your lesson is to ask for help and receive. And if you're always looking for a handout, then it's time to invest or it's time to give.
Mm.
It's just moving. So when you think of a spectrum, right, one side or the other, you just want to move closer to center, because the truth is there really is no balance. It's just less of an erratic swing, less of the extreme. You just want to kind of swing close to center, be
Wow.
even keeled.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So like for your processes, as far as like how do you figure out what a person needs help with? Like with you being a coach, let's say I come to you and I say, Tweet, I saw this posting and I saw that you could really, really help me. What would be the steps that you would take to figure out where I need help at? Like how to help me find my place?
You know, the most amazing coaches are the ones that are super curious. So you just ask questions. You keep asking. You know, I love working with you because you just answer all your own questions. Right? Like your whole thought flows out, and then it's like the easiest work ever to work with you. But you just ask. You ask really good questions, and sometimes you have to ask really hard questions because my philosophy is that your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world, right? So it's like, well, you know, and if I have a client that's blaming the world and not taking responsibility, then, you know, some of the questions might be, well, what are you seeing happening most often, and how is that a reflection of what's going on inside you? You know, and getting really tough with them. You know, if they're still in denial, I might say, it sounds like you're a little bit in denial.
Sometimes they need to hear that though, because sometimes I don't think that they really believe that they're
Yeah. Yeah, so you know, sharing whatever insights at the appropriate time, but the beauty of coaching is walking alongside of them and helping them with the discovery process.
mm.
And then it helps to be intuitive because I sometimes I just know, and so then I guide them through questions to get to that point, and sometimes I just tell them. Coaching, honestly, you know, traditional coaching is about guiding and helping, but my philosophy, which is my mentor's philosophy, it's whatever it takes to get them to where they want to be, where they want to be.
Right.
So
So you know what's amazing is I think some people who see the whole us as coaches from the outside don't realize that we too need coaching. You know.
oh yeah, you should always have someone because the truth is you can't ever see your own blind spots. You know, I think at one point I had 4 coaches, you know, and I think I now I have 2. So it's like, and I'm surrounded with a community of coaches. So all my friends are coaches. We can't help but coach ourselves. But I actually pay for a couple coaches, you know, so it's not, and then, you know, I can lean on my support group, but regular coaching time set up for myself.
And it's helpful, you know, it's really helpful. I know I find with myself when I got so many daggone different things that I do that I just sometimes like, okay, what are you supposed to be doing? Because Takia, you doing music, you doing this, you doing that, you doing that, and it's just like, you know, sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, how do you incorporate all of this stuff to where you're just not all over the place? So when you have a client like that just does so many different things, what would you say is the best thing to suggest to them?
Okay, so underneath that choice, like so many choices, the reason why, and this is going to be like, this is me punching people in the face when I say this, but there's scarcity underneath that belief. Like, what do I do? And the scarcity is that if I don't do it all, I'm going to lose it.
Really?
Yeah, you know, and there's a part. So I'm a divine gift coach too. So I'll teach people what their divine gifts are. There's a divine creation as a gift that some people have, where there's just so many thoughts going through their head, right? So we all have a little bit of all the divine gifts. So it's really natural to have that thought. But when you're not able to choose one, then a lot of times the belief, and this is a generality, but for the most part, a lot of the times it's around, well, I don't want to not do this one, and I don't want to not do this one. Well, the truth is you can do it all. Just do one at a time. You know, we've been taught that multitasking is so amazing, this and that, but when you multitask, you don't, and when you're doing all of it, you don't do anything very well, you know?
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. Because if you're trying to master too many things, so you become jack of all trades, master of none. Because
Yeah. Well, and some people, you know, and some people really love that thought, like to be good at all of it, you know, but which is fine, but you can be good, really good at one thing too, you know, really good at one thing and known for that one thing.
I
So,
think what I found with my own personal self is whenever I try to focus on one thing, people pull me back into the other world, and it'll be like, how do you tell them no?
uh, just like this, no.
I'll be like, you know, she changed. She all nonchalant now. She all spiritual. She can't come and come sing. I just be like, yo, guys, it's not that. It's just I'm in a whole nother place. You know, I don't mind coming to support, but you know, let me
For
do it.
no, saying no is actually is one of my specialties. because I used to struggle with boundaries, right? And I still do at different levels, because that's just one of those things that but saying no, like at first it's like I don't want to say no because I feel bad, I feel bad or I want to do it. But then when you keep giving and giving and over giving and not self-care, not doing what you really want, then you start to feel like a martyr and then you start to resent. So saying no is really healthy, and so there's ways to say no very nicely with grace, and that's one of the things I teach people do is how to say no with grace, how to draw boundaries with their clients, how to say no in their personal life. But then but all those underlying beliefs about I feel bad or I have to help, we work on all that and we get rid of all that to the fact where when people ask me, would you like to do something? I can just say no. No is a complete sentence. No, thank you. Well, and usually it's no with no thank you because no with gratitude, right? So no thank you.
You're like, not at this time. This wouldn't be. I find myself doing that. I'll say, I think that's a really great idea, but now it just really isn't a good time for me to be a part of that.
Yeah, and that's really great to honor yourself, right? And I may say that with a lot of things. Oh, thank you so much. I'm really grateful. Thank you for the invite. I'm really honored. But I'm gonna have to say no. So I may rosy it up, but sometimes it's just a no thank you. And that's okay.
I love that. Oh my God. I have my moments of just saying no, but I swear when I walk away, I be like, oh man.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad. That's one of my underlying things is I think I care too much about how other people feel. So are you I know you're intuitive, but are you also empathic?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Like as a business coach, how would someone who's empathic as well as intuitive handle their clients and not take on that negative energy that is instilled inside of them?
Lots of self-care practices around like visualizations and grounding and taking rest between each client and knowing when to draw my boundaries with them, things like that. So lots of that stuff throughout the day. I will take naps. Sometimes I literally take a nap between clients because I've got to, or I do a quick meditation so I can get grounded.
So what do you think are like some of the major bullet points of self-love that one should practice often to, I guess, like help them identify that they are actually loving themselves and putting themselves first, and they're not being selfish. Some people think that when you're selfish, but I don't think you're selfish at all. But
yeah. Well, and I used to be one of those people. I would give, but the truth is, you've got to really ask yourself, why do you give? Do you give so you can get validation? Do you give because it makes you feel good? So you're giving to fill some kind of hole within you versus just giving because you want to. For no need of anything, So back to your questions, what are the big bullet points? It always should be about you, always, because when it's about you first, then you can be in this natural state to give the best of you.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, I know
and I recommend to do it first thing in the morning, because when you do it first thing in the morning, you get it out of the way. So on a very practical level, what most people do is they wake up in the morning, they take care of if they've got kids, it's kids, and then they go to work, and then they'll try to squeeze in like a workout or self-care. Flip it around. Wake up earlier, do your thing, spend the quality time that you are going to have with, and I say kids, because I work primarily with women, but do the family thing, if you can, and then do the work thing. And if you can't flop it around, then do the and this is why I'm always telling people you need to be an entrepreneur so you can do it in that order.
Oh my God, it's so true. I was talking about that yesterday on my way to a show that I had to do, and someone was experiencing something with losing their job or something was going on. And I said, this is why it's important for you to be the boss. Then you don't worry about, oh, this came out of my check and this didn't work out and that. Oh my God, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You have skills, use them, create your own lane. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Break that
Yeah.
barrier. Break that
So,
back.
hon, I know this is your show and all, but we literally have 10 minutes left because I'm doing like a show circuit. So I don't think we're going to have time to do any healing for anyone today.
Actually, you know what I usually do is the first part we do this, and then the second part we come back and do whatever healing that we need to do.
Okay, good.
So you're good.
Good, because I gotta go in like 10 minutes. That's how I tell you, oh hun, see boundaries. No.
Like, look, chick, okay?
Like I really want to do some healing for someone, but I can't do it. Today, now.
Okay. I mean, well, I don't know. Is there something short that you can add for them, like within the remaining 10 minutes, and then we'll have you come back and do a healing thing if you want. I mean, I don't know how much time you have, so
You know, so 2 or 3 things that I live by, right? So our outer world is just a reflection of our inner world. If there's something amazing in our outer world, the amazing people in our lives, that's just a reflection of you. So celebrate that, And on the flip side, if there's some really crappy stuff happening in your world, that's also a reflection of your inner turmoil. So take a really hard look and dig and see what's going on and fix it inside, and your outer world will change. I promise you.
that's all.
Promise. There's that. And then the other thing, a big thing too, is like observe life as you live it, right? So when you start to move out of that control and having to control everything and getting really uncomfortable and present, like living moment by moment, live your life and observe and live your life, right? So observe what's happening, because you get clues from the universe, you get clues from God where you should be moving, and then don't be afraid to say yes, and trust your intuition and trust your feelings, right? Because someone said, I read somewhere that when you pray, it's you talking to God, talking to source creator, right? But when you get feelings in your body, that's source talking back. So listen to them. And in hindsight too, you can reflect back and just think back on all the times that you had that gut feeling that something bad was going to happen and you didn't listen, and it did happen. That was that. So really start to tap into our bodies and listen to our feelings, and then third point is really discern if it's a fear, you know if that feeling is a fear, and move in the direction of your fear, right? So if it's a safety fear, I'm not going to say go do that. I had stuff happen to me, sexual assaults and stuff like that, and I had that warning. Don't ignore those, but like if for instance, you want to take your business a certain direction but you're afraid, you want to invest in yourself but you're afraid, move in that direction of fear. Move in that direction. Use fear as your GPS, because it's gonna expand you.
Yes, that was so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
So what we're gonna do, I guess maybe one day that you have this week, we'll have you come back in and walk through a healing, because now they got to know you.
Yeah.
They got a chance to experience Thuy. And it looks like this thing cut it short, because we're supposed to have a full hour, but I think usually I started like within the second half. So it looks like, I don't know. Anyway, that's this.
It's all divine, see, because I set the intention. We got to be done on time. I got other places to be. I am a masterful manifester, by the way. Masterful.
Like, I got other things to do. B, C, get your life together. Get your life together. It's awesome. It's no problem. So next time we get to bring you back and we do a little healing. When would you be able to come back for us to do a little healing?
I'll have to check my calendar. Can we do that offline?
No problem. Okay. Well, Thuy, I want to thank you.
I love you, girl.
Love you too. I can't wait to share this, because people are going to be so empowered. And I asked a lot of questions that people have been asking me about business coaching, and I took like this list of what is it that you guys want to know? Because
Yeah.
awesome. So if I can help you guys get a little clarity as to why you should hire, because she does business. I'm not really a business coach.
Yeah, and I don't really think I even answered your question. Like, we barely scratched the surface, because there are some set structures and systems that tried and true processes.
Yes.
But all the house is only 10% of your business, right? So the rest, the 90%, is mindset and inner stuff. So that's where I go. And once you get all that clean, you'll automatically know how to do things. You know, there's a gazillion one ways to do it and be successful, but to do it authentically in a way it feels good is the key to having a business and a life that you love.
Awesome. So tell everybody where they can find you, because I talk so much about you, but like, maybe the groups that you have, maybe your website, email addresses, or anything that will help them find you.
Sure. So, best place to find me is in my Facebook group called Spiritual Entrepreneur Hangout. I chat up with my people, my tribe all the time in there, and I will give free advice, if people ask. So, just ask. That's part of what I teach is right. I ask.
I hear that? She said, just ask, or stop asking me.
And trust me, I'll know when to say no. Or when it's time to come on and seriously invest in yourself. But my website is my name. It's spelled Thuy as in yellow, M as in Mary, Tran, TRAN.com. You can find stuff about me there, and my email address is hello@thuymtran.com. So come find me, come talk to me. I'll make your business big money. Well, thanks for having me. Thank you for having me, Takiyah.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for coming. I appreciate you once, twice, 3 times. In the name of the universe. And that is Mind's Up, sister, from my heart to yours. And guys, make sure you definitely check out Thuy, because she can help you guys get a lot of things accomplished. So stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. We're on from 12 to 12 today. 1:30. We have our next guest coming in. So y'all can press this back. We're gonna make a replay for this, so you guys will be able to go back and take some notes, because she gave me some good juice today. Have a wonderful day. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.